Buenos días, buenas noches, buenas tardes, depende de donde nos estéis escuchando. Estamos en otro podcast del Cine Secreto y esta vez tenemos a una chica muy guapa, muy joven, que ha venido de San Francisco para visitarnos y que quiere ser actriz. Y como nuestro podcast siempre va de gente que le gusta el cine, hoy os presentamos a Lili
Ostojic Gibson.
Ostojic.
Hola.
¿Qué tal? Haremos la entrevista entre español, inglés, bueno, lo que salga,
Sí.
¿no?
Sí.
Pero,
Perfecto. Bueno,
Lili es la hija de una gran amiga, Raditza,
sí, perfecto.
que habla muy bien español también y
sí,
tal.
Sí.
Y entonces, ¿qué queremos conocer de Lili? ¿Qué queremos conocer? Pues yo, sinceramente, estoy entusiasmada con ella porque es una de las personas que conozco que ha ido a la escuela de arte de Juilliard.
Sí.
¿Cómo entraste en esta escuela, Lili?
Bueno, es una cosa difícil, muy difícil entrar, porque tienes que hacer una audición. Bueno, y esta audición es muy difícil porque hay otros. Voy a hablar inglés también.
Okay.
The audition is many steps, many layers. You have your initial audition where you prepare for monologues and a song, and then you end up doing whatever they ask you. They can ask you to do one monologue or two or the song first, or they can ask you to work on one of the monologues. So that's kind of a little bit about the initial audition, and then you get your first callback. And if you continue to get callbacks throughout the whole day, then you go to the final callback round, which is all the way in New York City, where Juilliard is. And then after that, if you get a call from them, then you were accepted. So, I mean, that's the audition process, and that's how I got in, yeah.
But the question is, why you choose this school?
Well, I chose it because, not only because it is a very well-known school for acting, probably the best, if not one of the best in the whole world, but also throughout the entire audition process, I felt very supported, and I felt like they really wanted me to be a part of their community. I really loved the professors. I loved the people who I was auditioning with. I've always wanted to go to college in New York. So once I got in, everything felt so right, and it felt like the right choice. It didn't feel like there was anywhere else that I should be. So, yeah.
But another question.
Yes.
When was the first time you think I want to be an actress?
Yeah, so I've been performing pretty much my entire life in some way or another, whether it's dance or acting or singing since I was really little. But I think the moment that I realized I wanted to do it very seriously for the first time was when I was in the 8th grade. I did a production of Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. And you were Mary Poppins?
No, not even. I was Mrs. Corey, who does the shop where they do supercalifragilistic. Oh, that was so much fun. And I just had the best time. And I remember.
How old were you then?
13, 14.
13. So you
more or less.
Young.
Yes. And then I remember then getting an email from National Youth Arts that I had been nominated and had won an award for them for this role.
Do you mean in your school?
No, it's its own organization. It's called National Youth Arts, and they go see shows around California and around the whole United States. And where I had done Mary Poppins was a little theater in my town, in Mill Valley.
And they come there?
Yeah. They come,
by
they watch.
Coincidence or you knew it?
I didn't know, no. I had no idea. It was by coincidence, and they just go to all around to watch these young kids perform and give them opportunities to get awards and to, be in this community of people who are really great at what they do. And once I had gotten that award and I had talked to so many little kids who had come to see Mary Poppins, I was like, wow, I really think that I can make a career out of this and that I really want to do it, want to put in the effort and go through all the many difficult steps there are to just start my training, let alone afterwards. So, yeah, that was one of the first moments that I knew for sure. I mean, since I was young, 2-3 years old, I knew I was going to perform always, whether I was going to how I was going to perform. I didn't know really if I was going to try singing or just acting or musical theater. I thought for a long time I would end up studying musical theater. But yeah, I always knew, but that was the moment that I was like, okay, this is real. I need to put all my effort towards
And
making
you were
that
only
happen.
13.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That surprised me is in the United States, then you have like people who goes to these little towns to watch new possible actors and actresses.
Yeah, it was
because
really
we
cool.
don't have that in Spain. Well, I don't even have theater in my school. So,
Yeah.
or was your school specialized in theater?
Well, my school, where this happened was not at my school. It was at we call it community theater, really near my school, and where many of my friends did theater growing up, but my school also had a great theater program. I went to Redwood High School, and this is actually where Robin Williams went to high school as well, which is very funny because he also went to Juilliard. And so that's...
In that community, I mean, Robin Williams was there because
Yes.
Robin Williams was from San Francisco.
From San Francisco. He went to my high school.
Okay.
And then he went to Juilliard afterwards, which is pretty...
So you are following...
Yes, a little bit. I think so. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about my school. It wasn't specialized in drama, but we had a really great drama program.
So, but you mean in California, there are many schools like yours that they promote theater and movies? Because what is true is Hollywood has the industry.
Yes,
No?
yes.
And now it's a factory of,
Yes,
of
yes.
people. And I understand why they're going to the little towns and communities to watch these new possible actors and actresses. No,
Yeah.
I never thought about. No,
Yeah, it makes sense. It's not necessarily like being scouted necessarily for like they do for sports. You know, they come and they watch you, they offer you. It's not really like that. It's more just so...
Because it sounds me like when we are looking for players for Football Club Barcelona, they're going to
exactly.
around the world. To watch
Right. Yeah, it's not really like that because you're not getting an offer for school. I mean, it was just for an award for like a job well done, really. But yeah, I mean, my high school was way more focused on academics and sports than on theater, for sure. It was
but
harder.
here in Spain, when you are in under the grades, no, you choose if you want to study mathematics or you want to study history.
We don't have that.
No, you have the same in high school.
Yes,
the same subjects. I mean,
almost always everybody has everything the same.
Okay, so when you decide that, Mom, I want to go to the Juilliards.
Yeah.
When?
That was well, I always knew I was going to apply to Juilliard, but you apply and then you don't expect anything because it is such a small amount of people who get in. So I knew I was going to apply like my junior year of high school, my third year of high school. And then I decided to go once I got in my senior year, in April of my senior year.
Okay. When you were in the senior year, you decide, and you apply, you write to New York, and you say, quiero ser artista.
Quiero ir a su programa.
Para los que entendéis español e inglés, el inglés os lo traducís vosotros, que para eso hay academias de inglés.
Sí.
No, pero la Juilliard es una escuela de cine, es una escuela de arte. Y entonces de ahí han salido músicos, han salido artistas, bueno, lo mejor de lo mejor de todo el mundo, porque viene gente de todo el mundo, ¿no? Well, we are in the point that you apply and then you have the auditions, ¿no?
Yes.
Las audiciones que para demostrar que vales para entrar en esa escuela. Aquí nos acordamos de la serie de televisión que se llamaba Fame,
sí.
Y que se basó un poco en esta escuela, ¿no?
Sí,
de arte.
Sí, de La Guardia también. La Guardia es una escuela parecida.
Una escuela parecida,
Fame,
¿no? Sí. Y entonces ella, con sus 18 años, how old are you now?
20.
Fíjate, lleva 2 años en la escuela de Juilliard. Lo importante fue que entró allí, lo difícil que fue entrar, porque supongo que hay muchas solicitudes, there apply a lot of people, ¿no? I guess.
Creo que mi año era 2.400 para drama.
2.400 para drama.
Sí.
Personas jóvenes de todo el mundo.
Sí.
¿No? ¿Y cuántos sois los elegidos?
18.
18 de 2.400. Felicidades.
Gracias.
Por eso quería entrevistarla, porque no hay tanta gente que conozca yo que haya podido acceder a esta escuela y que ya lleve 2 años, ¿no? En ella. Entonces ella estudia drama, ¿vale? Quiere ser actriz. ¿Is that correct? But
Yes.
musical, actriz musical, o ¿cómo hay divisiones? There are many fields there, or?
Yes. Acting has so many different fields and styles, of course, all those kinds of things. And I mean, I hope to be an actor who can work in as many fields as possible, whether that's theater, musical theater, film and TV, all kinds of things. So, yeah.
But when you apply, cuando estudias para ser actriz,
Sí.
¿es lo mismo ser actriz de teatro o de cine, o de series de televisión?
Es lo mismo. Todo es actuación, pero en cada escuela, creo, en los Estados Unidos, cuando vas a escuela a estudiar actuación, es para teatro, porque eso era primero, ¿no?
Claro, el teatro es Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, Chekhov, todo eso.
Chekhov. Tell me about Chekhov. What did you learn? Because did you know anything about Chekhov before you started the school?
So I knew a little bit about Chekhov before starting. I knew he was this amazing playwright. He was a classic, and that he wrote. I think I knew The Seagull, and that's it. You know, his most famous play. But upon coming to school, so many people around me, of course, were experts in Chekhov. And in the spring of my second year, last year, I did The Cherry Orchard, and I learned so much. Chekhov is, at the same time, one of the most difficult things to act, and at the same time, it's the most real and the most like life. So, I mean, ideally, if you could do Chekhov, then you could do anything. That's
Give me an
the
example.
goal. Yeah.
To understand.
So, in the play that I did, The Cherry Orchard.
The Cherry Orchard.
The Cherry Orchard, yes. It was Chekhov's last play.
And what is about?
So it's about this family and this matriarch, Lyubov Andreevna, who has had a cherry orchard in her family her entire life. And they have to sell it because there's so much debt in the family now.
Okay.
And there's many characters. There's her daughters. There's her brother, all coming together because they're trying to figure out how they can save the orchard. There's also a salesman, Lopachin, who is trying to tell them, you need to figure out what to do because you're going to lose everything you have. You've already lost it. And they're very oblivious to all of this. And now a main thing you need to remember about Chekhov is that everybody thinks that nothing happens in these plays.
Okay.
It's boring. There's no action, all this stuff. But what's really important is that Chekhov is writing subtext. He's writing what is underneath what people are saying. My director at school at Juilliard would always say, you should be able to watch a Chekhov play and look at any part of the stage and see life happening because that's how life works. It's not so explicit and it's so there's tiny little moments between characters that you might miss but have so much underneath them because there's so much inner life going on. That's what Chekhov really is inner life. And for example, my character was Varvara Mikhailovna, but we called her Varya.
Varya.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she is the eldest daughter, adopted daughter of the family. And she is supposed to marry Lopachin. And after all these years of people telling her that she needs to get married, and the Lopachin buys the cherry orchard for himself, not for the family. And it's finally time for them to get married. And he's supposed to ask her, and there's this whole scene between them when he's supposed to propose, and he doesn't. They talk about the weather, they talk about all these other things, and he ends up leaving the room, and that's just it. And with this, my friend Sam would know much more about this because he's a Chekhov expert, but he said with this, Chekhov creates a new type of scene where the audience knows more than the characters. And that's really, I mean, now that happens all the time. You have all these scenes where you know two characters are in love or you know that he's cheating on her and all these things. But Chekhov was the first to do that, to create a new type of experience in the theater, really. And that's just so engaging because we know these moments. You know these moments when you have to say something really hard and you can't, or you know that you're expected to do something and you just can't do it. That's why Chekhov is such a classic. It's because he understands the human, unlike, I mean, maybe paralleled with Shakespeare, unlike any other writer, I would say.
Did you work with Shakespeare too?
Yeah, so we did Shakespeare our first year. I love Shakespeare, I always have. And
but plays like Macbeth or
we did Henry
classic one.
Yeah, we actually did Henry IV Part 1, which is a history play. But was still very fun to work on, and I'm going to do Shakespeare when I get back. The first thing.
Well, we're talking about authors, but what about the acting thing? I mean, what methodology you use? Because there are many. The Russian one, I remember when I studied in the school movies, the movie school, the filmmaker school.
Yeah,
they taught me this. How do you, I forgot the name of the guy.
Stanislavski.
Exactly, Stanislavski. Do you do these different styles of acting, or
we
or
have.
they focus just in one style?
I think we work with several different methodologies at Juilliard. It's definitely mostly Stanislavski. Originally, because the heads of Juilliard came from the group theater, which is directly influenced with Stanislavski. So it's a lot like that. But with Chekhov specifically, you have to work in an interesting way, because our very first day we got into partners, and we did this exercise where you had to, pay attention to your partner and listen to them, but also have your own obsession in your head of something that was on your mind. And that's very contrary to many things we had learned in acting, because you're in acting in other classes we had learned you need to listen to your partner and just react to them. But with this, you have like the life between you and your partner, and the life between you and yourself, or the character you were just with, and all these things. So it's like conveying like both of these lives that are going on, which is the difficult part about Chekhov, because it can sometimes not give you a lot of backstory, feedback, or a lot of backstory that some authors give you, details about the character. A lot of that is up to you in Chekhov, which is really exciting, actually, because it helps you be a part of creating the whole human being. But it's also very difficult, because then you can sometimes feel lost, but like, who is this person? But it's only through, our director would always say, what do you have to have lived through to play this character? What are their past experiences? And that was really, really helpful to playing the role. So.
One question, the professor or the teacher, how he does or she does to pass your exam? The 18 you start are still 18, or someone?
We're 18 still.
Still the same.
Yes.
So it means the 18 are good.
Yeah, more or less.
But how do you do an exam?
So we don't really have exams.
How do you pass for the next step?
So
I don't know. I am curious how they, ¿cómo se dice? Hacen los exámenes, cómo clasifican,
sí,
¿no?
Sí.
Las grades.
So there's no exams really. And it's very difficult to grade acting. It's not like, oh, you did what, it's not like, it's not linear. It's not like we talked about, it's very subjective. It's not like you, by this point in your career, you should be able to do this. It's not so concrete.
It's art.
It's art, exactly. So it's not like, Juilliard is not like regular school where you have finals and midterms and all this. But you do have your projects. You have your plays that you do.
Do you write your own plays?
No.
Okay.
Well, there's one opportunity where you can write your own piece, student-initiated projects. But if you go to class and you try your best and you show growth, then you're going to pass. You don't have to worry about that. But in terms of like growing more as an artist and stuff, of course you have to put in extra work, but it's not like you're going to fail a class if you mess up this monologue. It's not like that. It's really more of showing commitment. And if you come to class and you prepare what you need to prepare, you're going to pass.
You still have 2 years more, no, to study.
Yes.
And normally I study economics, for instance, And in the last course, the companies came to offer you jobs.
Yeah.
It happens here in Juilliard.
Yes, actually.
But what kind of companies they come?
So it's actually, you have your senior showcase in the 4th year, and you spend a lot of time getting ready for that. You do 2 scenes, and sometimes a song also. And casting agents, managers, casting directors come to see the show. And then often you can get your representation from this. That's the goal, is to be signed from your senior showcase. That's another big reason why people want to go to Juilliard, is because you have, great representation who can come to watch, and you can often get signed from that. It's not guaranteed, of course. And there's a lot of very successful people who did not get signed at their senior showcase and went on to audition and then got their representation. But yeah, that's a very similar thing that we have. Actually, it's funny. They come, they watch, and then they email you, "Hi, I would like to meet with you about this," and that's that.
Let's see what happened. But now that you are 20, my question is, what is your dream? What kind of actress you would like to be? ¿Qué clase de actriz te gustaría ser? After these 2 years learning, no?
Yeah.
Maybe you see your style. I don't know.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a very versatile actor who can play all different kinds of roles and all different kinds of styles. But the things I lean towards a little more are definitely plays. As of right now, I don't know how it'll be like once I start working in film, but I've always been more drawn towards the theater. I love working on classics. Since working on Chekhov and Ibsen and Shakespeare, I've really grown to love that style. So working on classics is something I'm really excited about for my career, but also contemporary work, just dramas and comedy as well after this year. But I've always loved dramas more. So I hope to do a lot for the stage in terms of that style. Yeah, I mean, you really don't know until you're out
Is
there.
what I said, no? Because when I was your age, I didn't know what to do, really.
Yeah.
I was just learning. But I think you define more or less your style, no?
Yeah.
And maybe you feel more comfortable on dramas than in comedies. I don't know, no?
Yeah.
But another question is, meanwhile you are studying, is possible for you to act in a short films from France or outside Juilliard, or there is like a contract that you cannot do anything?
I mean, it's if it's going to interfere with school, then you cannot do it.
How can you interfere in the school?
Like if I'm going to do a short film and it's going to overlap with me being in school, I can't do it.
Okay. It means that you can do it on weekends, for instance.
On weekends in the summer, and the spring break, winter break, yes, you can work then. There definitely are exceptions. I remember there's a senior who just graduated who was an understudy on Broadway in the end of his 4th year because he had finished his senior show and he had his representation already. So they let him do that. Again, there are exceptions, but for the most part, no, you don't work while you're in school, and I think it's a good thing.
No, it's okay for me, but I was wondering, these actors that they were very young, and they were brilliant, and they maybe only studied 2 years and they then went to Hollywood. I don't know. It happens that or not?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people leave school for roles. Definitely. We've had a couple people, I can think of 2 or 3 people who left to pursue a role. But yeah, for some people, that's what they prefer. And some people prefer to stay in school and get their degree and be more established first. It just depends.
Depends, but I think you are more established, no?
Yeah, I don't see myself leaving for a role. I think that completing the training, what they always tell us is that we're training you for a 50, 60, 70-year career, not, to leave for one role, but then we know what happens after that. And again, for some people, they've been completely fine and they've been able to survive and thrive from leaving school, from whatever school, not just Juilliard. And for some people, they prefer to get their footing. Like I was offered an audition for school for the summer, and I really did not want to do it because I didn't feel like it's something I wanted to put my name on before graduating, if that makes sense. If it was something when I had already
you use
graduated.
a fake name?
Yeah, I mean, it was a film. It was a
Yeah.
film that they wanted a couple of us to audition for.
Actually,
And-
your name, the one you want to use, what will be your name?
I think it's going to be my full name, Lili Ostojic Gibson, because I really don't want to.
Lo voy a decir despacio porque ya lo he dicho muy deprisa, pero es
Sí.
Lili Ostojic. Es que tiene un apellido serbio.
Sí, serbio. Mi mamá es de Serbia. Es Lili, como la flor. Ostojic.
Ostojic.
Gibson.
Ostojic.
Yes.
Gibson es fácil. Yo le diría Lili Gibson y así es más fácil.
Sí, pero sí, toda mi vida ha sido
Ostojic.
Lili Gibson, pero no, I don't want to like lose
Yeah.
that heritage name because it's very important to me, and it also is going to tie me to that part of the world.
I like
which
difficult
I like,
names.
so
I like difficult
like it.
names.
Yeah.
They're different. Lily is nice because it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
No, but Ostojic is
Yes. Yes.
we will say the Lily.
Yes, exactly.
No, because it's marketing actually to
It
have
is,
a naming.
Agreed.
That,
Agreed.
So you cannot use fake names to do your
To do roles?
roles
No.
with a mask.
Yeah.
They don't recognize you.
Yeah.
What is the thing that what class is the one that you love it? Or you love all of them?
I really, there's something to be learned in them all, definitely. But I mean, acting, of course, where you do scene study, you get a scene and a partner and you work it and then you present it and you work it in class. I love that. That's really exciting because it feels like everything's, being put together. But I also love the voice and speech classes. I love, singing class. I like movement class. I really like them all. But I like the Shakespeare class also. All of them are important, but probably scene study and voice and speech.
I would like to know, a girl like you from California moving to New York, what is this change for you? Because California is kind of different than New York City.
Yeah, definitely. I'm from Marin County, California, which is just outside of San Francisco. And it's a suburb of San Francisco. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of great nature. Although it is very quiet. It is very homogeneous. I think it's like 95% white. So moving to New York was really exciting because there's all different kinds of people, all from every single corner of the world. There's so much to do. There's just, I also live in Upper West Side, Manhattan, and just everything you could ever want, you have. I always say, like, whatever type of food I want, whatever store, it's like right there. And that is so lovely. And yeah, living right in Lincoln Center is just such a privilege because you have the opera, you have the ballet, the theater.
You have free tickets?
Yeah,
like a
we
student?
do from school.
¿Ves?
Sometimes we
Ya
get some
sabía
free
yo.
tickets a Broadway también.
Yeah.
Y porque tenemos nuestros alumnos en las obras. Por eso.
Okay.
So that's really exciting. It's like I always knew I was gonna end up in New York, so now I don't even think about the change. But yeah.
The first year, the first day.
Yeah,
How was your first day?
even that, it was a pandemic also, so it was hard.
It was the pandemia. Esto es verdad.
Sí,
Fue
but
justo con la pandemia.
yeah, but I always thought about how the elevators I have to take like 2 elevators to get to class and then another one. Thankfully, Juilliard is very small, so it's not like NYU where you have to, go around the city. But yeah, it's a big change. Of course, it's a huge adjustment, and just there's nowhere in the world that's like New York. But I love it. I was just ready. It didn't feel like an adjustment because I had always known in my head that I was going to be in New York for school. So it's just like, yeah, it's time now. So.
But you are adapted to New York now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
More so.
You like New York.
Yes, I love New York. Yeah.
When you go back to Marin Country, what do you feel?
I love Marin too now. It's my home. It's where I've grown up, of course, and where I have my friends since I was, 2-3 years old. So it's like, yeah, when I'm home, I just love to rely. I appreciate it much more now now that I live in New York. I appreciate the quiet and being able to drive where I want and just relax a little more.
Tell me about your classmates. Are they from what part of the United States? Where are they from?
Yeah, my classmates are from all around the world. We have such a diverse
You are
group.
18. How many nationalities do you have?
A lot. I don't know a number, but we have people from Japan, South Korea, Venezuela, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Slovenia, me from Serbia, Montenegro. It is very diverse. We have many languages, many different just kinds of people, interests, all kinds of things. So it's an incredible group to be a part of. My group is number 53. And I love them. They're my family.
It's your family now because you became friends after how many hours you stayed together for the day?
So we have class from Monday to Saturday.
Saturday also. Wow.
Saturday is mostly rehearsal, but Monday to Friday we go from like 9 to 9 or 9 to 10.
Wow, it's very intense.
Very intense, yes. And then Saturday is like 12 to 6 or something. That's sometimes the only people you have time to see. So,
do you speak Spanish with people who are Hispanics, like República Dominicana?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I've done a scene in Spanish also, partially play lab with a fourth year who's from Havana, Cuba. So that was really fun.
¿Algún autor español?
Sí,
Lope de Vega.
Sí. Bueno, de España no.
De teatro.
¿De teatro?
No.
Sí, Lorca.
García Lorca.
Sí.
Bueno, Yerma.
Sí, mi amiga dice Yerma. Sí. Yerma.
O sea, que es una escuela bastante internacional.
Sí.
O sea, que no solo se dedica al teatro anglosajón, sino que si
yo
interpretáis Lorca.
Sí, Lorca. Yo hiciera Lili Ostojic de África, creo. Y sí, tienes muchas diferentes personas, tienes que hacer muchos diferentes autores también.
Sí, me imagino. Y la parte de cantar, estuve mirando un vídeo tuyo que cantabas un bolero. Un bolero de Luis Miguel, que te gusta Luis Miguel.
Interesante.
Sí.
Sí.
Me dijiste ayer que una de las cosas de estos 2 años de estudios que habías mejorado en la voz.
Sí.
¿Cómo te enseñan? How they teach you to improve your voice?
So like I said, we have those voice and speech classes, which you learn many different exercises to strengthen your voice, to maintain your vocal health, to focus on your breath. So all of those help your voice. And then in singing, it's just, I don't know, they teach us a lot of different technique. Again, we bring in songs to sing in class, or we'll get assigned songs. And that's how we learn, just repetition, lots of repetition, and trying things that are really hard and failing at them a lot. So, but with voice, it's very, there's a technique. And we had a great voice teacher, Andrew Wade, who I just adore. And he helped my voice grow so much. And he's just helped just open. He just teaches you how to open so you can really feel what you actually sound like, and then how to repeat that so you can warm yourself up so you can be ready to do that anytime you need it. Can
you do me an example of your new voice?
Of a song?
Sí, un Luis Miguel, tírate un Luis Miguel.
Well, I'm not warm now, but...
Tenemos la excusa, va, yo te sigo, va. ¿Cuál era la de Luis Miguel?
¿La historia de amor?
Sí.
Pero, ¿dónde has visto esto?
Mis fuentes secretas.
Sí, Jorge.
Es la historia de un amor.
Qué lindo.
Ahora tú. Yo te empiezo.
Okay.
Es la historia de un amor, porque así veréis la buena voz que tiene ella y la mala que tengo yo.
Como no hay otro igual que me hizo comprender todo el bien, todo el mal. Ahora sí.
Apagándolo después. ¿sabes? Lo has de hacer con más sentimiento, Lili. Aquí
bueno, pero ahora no.
Ahora somos aquí,
Ahora,
estamos en España,
de
estamos en Barcelona, de
oye.
vacaciones, la he pillado de vacaciones, me estoy aprovechando.
Mira.
Y la hago cantar, ¿no? Porque me encanta cómo canta, ¿sabes? Y quería ver un poco si realmente había evolucionado. No, soy una tramposa.
Sí, de verdad.
Dale otra, va, otra. Un blues, va. Un blues.
Ay, no tengo nada ahora,
No,
disculpa.
va, pues es la historia de un amor como hay.
Tú cantas muy bueno.
No, que estoy afónica además.
Bueno, que no me has dicho que me quiere cantar.
Claro, yo quiero que cantes una canción de despedida al menos. No. Va. No tengo la guitarra porque no sé tocar la guitarra contigo, sino bueno, que las preparan para actriz, para cantar, para bailar. Dancing also?
Yeah, dance too.
You dance now?
Yes.
What kind of dancing?
I love to dance all kinds of things. Contemporary modern is my favorite. I like hip hop. What else? I always done ballet, jazz growing up, so everything.
Everything. So you really and you play instruments too? Or?
Yeah, I play the ukulele pretty well, and
ukulele.
then a little.
La
and
Marilyn Monroe aquí.
Me encanta
el ukulele.
And guitar a little bit too.
Yeah? But no, I mean in the school.
Oh, in school?
They
yeah,
teach you.
We don't have classes. That's the real musician.
Porque esta escuela también da clases de música. Ahí han salido músicos buenísimos, violinistas, cantantes de ópera. O sea, es increíble la escuela Juilliard. Por eso que ahora que tengo una alumna de Juilliard, que para que veáis, de 2.400, eligieron de 18, y entre ellos Lili, pues ha venido de vacaciones con su madre y yo la he pillado para este podcast. Así que así somos de aprovechados, ¿no? Para que nos cuente cómo son estas escuelas por dentro, porque luego de aquí unos años la volveré a entrevistar cuando ya haya recogido su Oscar a la mejor actriz. ¿No?
Sí.
Is important really to have an Oscar award in no.
I mean, sure. I guess. I mean, that's not why we do it, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
you do but because you like to do it.
Yeah.
No, and this is your it will be your profession then, ¿no? Mm-hmm. Bueno, y otra cosa que quería comentar de Lili, cuando yo la conocí hace unos años, me sorprendió mucho porque es amiga de un amigo mío y me enseñó un libro de poesías que ya tenía 15 años o así. Y me dejó leer las poesías, tú no lo sabes, pero fue impresionante que una niña de 15 años escribiera tan bien. Y mi pregunta es, Lili, do you still write poems?
Yeah, I write a little bit still, not as much because, school has taken a lot of my time. But I still love poetry, and I read a lot more poetry now. And I think if I were to write more, and the little I have written, I think I was talking to my friend about this, my style is so different from what it once was. I once wrote more so in a way of slam poetry that, was really meant to be read because I wrote some poetry in school, and I was like, I just want to really just have something for myself to compile all my poetry. It was never meant to really be like published, really. I self-published it so I could have it, have like a physical copy and all of that. But I've such a different person now than I was then.
Estamos hablando de solo hace 4 años.
4 años, yeah. I mean, but años muy importantes, no? I mean, it's just so much has changed, and I feel like I've lived a whole nother life. So, yeah,
and you still write poems?
A little bit here and there. Yeah, definitely less. But yeah, I write more so like something small here and there rather than full poems, ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope to write more poetry, and I will always love poetry. Yeah.
Yeah. Bueno, pues vamos acabando la entrevista, ¿no? Pero bueno. ¿Qué más nos quieres contar de la Juilliard?
No, I mean, it's a really wonderful place.
Por ejemplo, si yo soy una española aquí y quiero solicitar ir a la Juilliard, ¿qué tengo que hacer?
Bueno, ir en las redes a juilliard.edu y ahí tenéis toda la información porque qué tienes que hacer.
¿Tienes que ser joven o puedes ser una sesentona como yo?
Puedes ser lo que quieres. Tenemos también bachelors y masters y todos ese juntos.
The problem I see in Juilliard is must be very expensive to live in here. Or
Yes, it's very expensive.
That's the only little problem.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The school can help you a little bit with financial aid and scholarships. But yeah, if you're a MFA, finding housing can be very, very hard. So yeah, I'm living in the dorms for one more year. And the dorms are very nice. But
the dorm will be for the 2 years more? Or
one more year.
And then
I'll move out.
Where?
I don't know. We'll
with
see.
The homeless and the
maybe
cartones.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully somewhere on the Upper West Side. We'll see.
So you mean the dorms are only until the third course?
You can live there all 4 years if you want to.
But you decide
but I want to move out next year.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So, next year? It start when, in September or
this in August? Yeah.
Oh, it's August.
So I'll live this year, my third year in Juilliard in the dorms, and then my fourth year, I'll move out.
Y otra pregunta, ¿te ves capaz de actuar en español?
Creo que sí. Creo que si tuviera el tiempo para hacerlo y aprender.
Bueno, hablamos cuando acabes la escuela, ¿no?
Sí, yo quisiera hacerlo.
Porque aquí hay mis amigas directoras, a ver si me escucháis. Tengo aquí a Lili, que actuará de maravilla y cantará y hará todo bien.
Sí,
¿no?
yo de verdad quisiera hacerlo. Sí.
Bueno, en el Cine Secreto siempre queremos traer gente relacionada con el cine. Creo que esto ha sido una oportunidad de ver a una joven artista que empieza con mucha ilusión. Vamos a hablar con ella de aquí 5 años a ver cómo ha ido la vida.
Sí,
¿no?
Vamos a ver.
Pero nos ha contado que los interiores de la Juilliard, esta escuela de arte que han salido tanta gente buena y que te dan unas ganas de ir enormes. Pero quería, antes de acabar, otra pregunta sobre... ¿Hay filmmakers, hay directores de cine que vienen a buscar a las Juilliard actores y actrices? ¿O vienen las productoras solo?
Creo que es más las productoras que directores, porque es para...
¿Pero hacen castings?
Sí, tienes...
o sea, ¿hay letreros de castings en la escuela?
Eso... no, es solamente programas del verano que puedes hacer, pero... Es más los productores que venían a ver la cosa, lo más que nada, the casting directors.
Sí, pero claro, yo soy directora de cine, por ejemplo, y quiero un actor o una actriz joven, nuevo, ¿no? Sí. Una cara nueva, y me gustaría, como sé que los educan bien en las Juilliards, me gustaría ir ahí a verlos, ¿no?
Sí,
Entonces,
puedes ir a nuestras obras de teatro.
Sí, eso es lo que quiero decir. Sí, o sea, de alguna manera os exponéis públicamente.
Sí,
para que pueda ver los productores, directores y directoras de cine.
Sí, en esta manera ir a las obras o el cabaret que hicimos o lo que sea para vernos. ¿Sí?
Pero ¿dónde hacéis estos cabarets?
En la escuela.
¿Y lo anunciáis públicamente?
Sí. Es público en las redes, en juilliard.edu, y puedes ver todo el performance calendar, todos los días, cuándo va a ser, bla, bla, bla.
¿Y tú has actuado ya en estos performances?
Bueno, eso empieza el tercer año.
O sea, este año que empiezas en agosto.
Es público. El primero 2 años es muy privado, íntimo.
Porque another thing you taught me was that there is a lack of confidencialidad, ¿no? It's like como un secretismo en los primeros años, ¿no?
Sí, un poco.
¿Qué escondéis? What do you hide?
Well, it's just that like they want us the first 2 years especially.
¿Hay una fórmula secreta o como la Coca-Cola?
No es una fórmula secreta, para nada. It's really just they want us to feel like to feel more free in our acting and in our training, to learn and mess up and not feel the pressure of having an audience there all the time. And I kind of appreciate that for the first 2 years, because it's such a, important time developmentally. So the first 2 years, it's very much intimate performances, just the drama division or just the school. And then the third year, it's finally time for more public audiences to come. The most public is definitely the fourth year, but yeah, so I'm really excited for that though, because I of course love to perform in front of an audience. So yeah.
So is this new year you're excited for?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And another thing, do you have like Instagram or social redes sociales,
Sí.
social media, to have your artistic name or your artistic performance? Did you think, because you belong to the digital generation, no?
Yeah.
And I don't know, in my time, the actors and actresses were more for agents, no? But
my Instagram right now is just for fun, and it probably will stay that way. But once I graduate, I'll have a website, my own website with my resume, my headshot, and my reel and everything I've done, and the my representation and how you can contact me through my agent and my manager and all that. So that will help, of course, and that's really how people can get booked, because everything's online now. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So you think about that?
Definitely.
And they teach you to do that? Or?
I think that it's definitely going to come more the fourth year, how you can market yourself in the best ways, because you have fourth year, you have a lot less classes, because most programs like Juilliard are 3 years. Well, the MFA, the bachelors are 4. But that fourth year is very much a transition year, getting you ready, business, marketing yourself, entrepreneurship for artists, all of that. So that's definitely going to come the fourth year. But that's something that you think about. Yeah. How am I going to work to promote myself, and how am I going to make sure I have the best shot out there of being seen?
But until now, you seem so happy, no, with the school.
Yeah,
it seems like you select the correct path.
Yes. There couldn't have been a better place for me to be.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Lili. Yeah. Nice to be here in my podcast, en el
Thank
Cine Secreto
you.
podcast.
Muchas gracias.
Y me alegro mucho. Cuando vuelva de vacaciones a España la volveremos a entrevistar.
Sí, cómo no.
Y de momento es muy interesante todo lo que ha explicado. Así que muchas gracias, Lili.
Muchas gracias a ti, María.
Y acabamos el podcast y espero veros pronto en el siguiente podcast.
Adiós.
Ahí vamos.
Cine Secreto podcast.